Can you explain what you were telling me about the dopamine? You keep forgetting what the word is for the book, but
I'm going to speak to the author. I've got like a podcast with her as well.
Oh, you do?
The book is called Dopamine Nation.
Dopamine Nation.
Yeah, and she was basically, what you're saying there is exactly what she was saying as well. Like, she's basically explaining how that works in scientific terms. How, like, you know, effectively, she's got a very interesting way of putting it, that in order to, as a remedy for pain, that you need to embrace pain.
Okay.
And she uses fasting as a way of doing that. So feeling the hunger, feeling the thirst, for example, in our context in Ramadan, is a good way, because the problem that we face in our times is a problem of overconsumption. We eat too much, we consume too much, there's too much, you know, going on in terms of social media, there's too much going on, we have too much options, everything's readily available for us. There's a very interesting quote in that book, which was, it's like a cacti in the rainforest. I found a very powerful quote, because a cactus is meant to, obviously, it's resourceful in a desert. That's why if you cut it open, it's got water inside of it. It's trying to be as resourceful as possible. The human being loses his ability to be resourceful when you give him all the water he needs in this analogy, right? So because we have everything, we don't have to work as hard for the things that we need to get. So things become actually not pleasurable for us. So this is irony that is created. So she says it's like you're being hedonistic, but what is actually being produced is anhedonia, which is the opposite of hedonism. You're losing the pleasure.
Yeah, subhanAllah, yeah. So you're doing everything to get more pleasure, and then you end up with...
Yeah, and that's because your dopamine receptors are alert, they're ready, right? They're not being used too much, because the more you use them, the more you lose them in this case.
SubhanAllah. You know, and SubhanAllah, you know, teaches us that we have so much capacity as human beings,
Right.
but we pretend we don't. Like, for example, you know, Fajr prayer is difficult to wake up to. But Sahoor,
yes,
you'd wake up so easily, right? Every single Muslim, right?
I haven't even been setting an alarm. I go to bed at like maybe 2 a.m. and I'm waking up automatically at 5 a.m. every single day right now.
So what's the difference now? You're waking up for food. It's okay. It's easy. You're able to do it. You know, you're happy. You know, you're enjoying your meal. And then you're praying Fajr. But when it comes to outside Ramadan, you're not doing it. Also bad habits. You know, a lot of people quit music, quit so many different things, haram things that they would be doing in the normal days. When Ramadan hits, you leave all of these things for a month and you're able to do it. You know, there's a lot of like people who are, they would say addicted, let's use their own terminology, to things like pornography and these type of things. But look at them in Ramadan. In Ramadan, they will be able to actually last a whole month without doing that specific thing.
Is that what you're supposed to realize during Ramadan too? Like how much you don't need those little necessities too? That I'm realizing more that I have more mental capacity and that I should have more resistance. Like fasting from water and food is making me like I'm scrolling on my phone less because I'm not like I'm more aware of.
Yeah, subhanAllah, it's almost everything that we do in Ramadan, like the Taraweeh that people pray. Generally, people would not be doing this voluntary prayer during the night, and it's highly recommendable from an Islamic point of view. You know, one of the Sahabas the Prophet ﷺ praised, right? Ibn Umar, he praised him. And then he said, Ni'ma rajul, if he prayed in the nighttime, he will even be better, right? And this is one of the companions, like one of the best people to walk the earth, right? But still, he said he would be better if he were to do that night prayer. We as Muslims, if we speak generally to the Muslims, okay, pray in the night prayer, that is hard, difficult to wake up. But in Ramadan, you'll see Muslims doing it. You'll see just the average Muslim going to the masjid, praying Taraweeh and doing that. So it does show us that we've got so much capacity and we've got so much potential. But what is different in Ramadan and outside Ramadan is that you're understanding that this is a blessed time, etc. Other than that, you do have the capacity to quit these things that you're claiming you're addicted to pray during the night, to recite Quran, to finish the Quran in the month multiple times. People are doing this in Ramadan. Outside Ramadan, you're not touching the Quran. Okay, what is the difference between, this is a question, okay. Do you become a different human being in Ramadan? Or are you the same human being that existed in the month before and the month after, right? So that's why you see people sometimes using terms like Ramadan Muslim. It's not good terms because it's good.
What does that mean, Ramadan Muslim? Somebody that only is on their deen for this month and then during Eid they start drinking?
Yeah. You can even use that term for many things, like Hajj Muslims as well. Some Muslims will do everything and say, I'll go to Hajj, I've been purified now, I'm going to go back to doing what I'm doing. So, But the thing is, we want the people to be good in Ramadan. Even if they're only good in Ramadan, isn't that better than them not being good at all? So in the end, it's still good. But the thing is this, right? Why is it only in Ramadan are we able to do these things? So you're asking, is that what you should realize in Ramadan, that you have capacity? Well, in Ramadan, so many things that you benefit, you learn.
Patience.
Yeah, there's so many things that like innumerable things, right? But Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentions one thing. He says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Fasting has been prescribed or written upon you, just like it was on the nations that preceded you. And then Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that you may attain taqwa. So لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ is that so you may attain taqwa. And taqwa, like God consciousness. And I think this is like the most around other people, the fact you're not engaging with other, only Allah Azza wa Jal sees you. That's why Allah says that fasting is for me. Allah Azza wa Jal. Other people, they don't see you, so you develop this God consciousness. Ramadan. When I'm alone, I'm not really alone. Allah Azza wa Jal sees me, sees the things that I'm doing. So I have to develop this God consciousness, you know. So I think this is the most beneficial thing that you develop during Ramadan, is the idea of God consciousness. But yeah, there's so many things, subhanAllah, that you
Don't zoom, but
benefit
keep the
from
stream
Ramadan.
open on your phone.